Possibilities, a podcast for those who are ready to evolve into unstoppable, intuitive, and resilient entrepreneurial leaders. Every episode features successful business thought leaders who share their wisdom about insightful topics that help you amplify how you do business and serve yourself and others. Get comfortable and have fun as you listen to your host, Terry Wildemann, have lively conversation with her guest. Here's Terry. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Awaken the Possibilities. I'm your host, Terry Wildemann. Every week, we bring dynamic conversation with incredible people who have a lot to share to help you, the entrepreneur, awaken the possibilities in your life. This week, we have an amazing guest. Lee Milteer has joined the podcast, and we have been conversing before the show. And what I can tell you is, hold on to your seat. It's going to be quite the entertaining podcast. So a little bit about Lee. She is an internationally known and celebrated entrepreneur, a visionary, a best-selling author, and award-winning professional speaker, TV personality, and intuitive business mentor. She provides business and success advice and resources to over 250,000 people worldwide, and she's the founder of the Millionaire Smarts program, which supplies coaching for other coaches and businesses. She hosted America's Premier Experts TV show, which was aired on NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox affiliates. Lee speaks all over North America and Europe in conventions, private companies, entrepreneurial, and niche market events. Welcome to the podcast, Lee. It is so exciting to have you here.
Thank you so much, Terry. I always love to be with you personally and professionally. Thank you for inviting me.
You are so welcome. I mean, we really do have a good time. We do stop talking when we get together.
That's right. We need to do that more often.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So, Lee, one of the things I know about you is that you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I knew about you long before you knew about me. I was living in Chesapeake, Virginia, and that was 25 years ago. And a mutual colleague kept trying to bring us together, and it just never happened. And I'm a firm believer that things happen in just the right time frame. So all the way back when, you were an entrepreneur. So you've been in this realm for a very long time. What about being an entrepreneur is special to you?
Well, I would say that one of my greatest values in life is freedom. And I don't like glass ceilings. I don't like people telling me what to do. I'm not really cut out to be an employee. I am really cut out to be the leader, the boss. I started my first company at 12. I had 37 people working for me at 12 years old. So yes, I've been an entrepreneur a long time. I grew up on a ranch farm, and I really got training there, Terry, in the sense of the rules are whatever is in front of you. That there are no set things that have to be done in exactly the same way, that you really interpret the signals that you're getting from the animals, from the land, from the weather, your intuition.
Yes.
My father was better with figuring out what the weather was going to be than any newscast ever. And so I had this background of being in touch with that. And so by the way, I really didn't like being in school, so all of that felt very confining to me. So I am the epitome of wanting to be free.
And freedom is my number one value also. So that's why we get along so well, because I'm like you. I don't make a really good employee. I need to work for myself. And I have been since I was 18 years old. And like you, I didn't have 36 employees. But when I was a kid, I used to sell rides in my little red flyer wagon. Remember those things?
I do. I just bought a new one for my new house for the groceries in the elevator.
There you go. So, yeah, the little red, I used to sell rides for pennies.
Oh, that was great.
I was in under 10 or something like that. Anyway, so what is it that you love? I know that you freedom is your number one value when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Why are you doing what you're doing now? What got you to this focus in time? Because you're a trainer, you're a coach, you're a mastermind provider. You do so many amazing things.
That is a fabulous question, Terry. I I actually wait to be inspired from an inner source of really how to use my abilities. A lot of external forces have tried to lure me to them, um, like super wealthy men thinking, oh, you'd be, the perfect, rich wife, but, you have to be all these things, and I can't be any of those things. I like to sort of fly by the seat of my pants into the reality and just turn it over to spirit, so to speak. I have felt called to all those things. Around the age of 22, decided that the calling for me was going to be sort of self-help, even though I didn't know how to describe that. So I lived a number of years just in the library, reading all kinds of books that normally a 22-year-old wouldn't read. But I will tell you that when I was in high school, because I was quite the handful, they assigned me to the library just basically to get rid of me. And in the library, I found Think and Grow Rich and Psycho-Cybernetics and the Magic of Believing. And I read those at 16. And for the first time in my life, I felt so empowered that the fact that I was poor, I had no money, no resources, and no clear plan on how to do anything in life, those 3 books convinced me that I would make it.
There you go.
And they were all true. So I could make money in anything because this is my opinion. I am smart. I can learn anything I want to learn, but if I don't want to learn it, I'm not going to learn it. And I only want to learn what I want to learn, and I'm going to be good at that. So I'm very attracted to the whole let's improve our brain, let's improve our probabilities of success. I love success. Money is very important to me because it is a tool of freedom. It is a tool, and I am very much about using my 5 types of energy: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial, to make sure that I live not in the poor way that I grew up in, but in the way that I want to live.
So I'm curious, you're living the way you want to live. One thing I know is that you have fun. And you also have amazing talent in areas that folks don't really know about. So I suspect that painting behind you.
Oh yeah, that painting is mine. Yes, that is one of my new paintings. Most of my paintings are all like that. They're very sort of Caribbean and palm trees and water and stuff like that. That's what I'm attracted to. So if you come to my house, by the way, you'll notice my walls in my office are purple.
Yeah, you see that.
So I have fun with that. Look, you can only have so many businesses. I have people all the time wanting to buy my work, and I'm like, no. I'm going to give you the work because I really am not starting another business. I have enough businesses rolling. And if you have a great hobby that you love, you really should involve money in it, because now it goes from fun to pressure.
There you go. Yeah. Understood. And I know that you've been painting for quite a while, and I've watched your paintings evolve over the years. That's beautiful. And I'm curious, how do you equate creating a painting and entrepreneurship? The steps that are involved.
So we had a little blip in, I couldn't hear the question.
How do you, I know you love painting, and I know it's not part of being an entrepreneur, so to speak, but the steps are so similar to creating a painting and running an entrepreneurial business. Where do you see the marriage between the two?
Okay, so if I'm getting ready to create a painting, the first thing I do is really sort of ask myself from an inner perspective, what do I feel attracted to? I have lots of pictures from magazines that I save, and I like the scene. So I'm sort of modeling things that I like, that I feel attracted to. The other thing is really setting up the environment that painting can thrive in and be born in. Nice. Meaning I have all the right paints and the right brushes, I have the right easel, I have the right canvas, I have all those accoutrements, as one would
Mm-hmm.
say. The other thing is I have to schedule time to actually create a foundation. For people who don't paint, you don't really know all the work that goes, just like being an entrepreneur, you don't know all the
Nope.
work that goes into creating a painting. They think you just start painting, but there has to be a foundation. There
Yeah.
has to be a, like a blank slate. You got to put a color over it, and then you paint the colors over colors. I paint primarily oil paintings, which take forever to dry, but last forever. But the great thing about oil is you can paint over oil. So if I
Mm-hmm.
painted the whole thing black, I could literally paint all over it in white, which you can't do with some other mediums. So I think in entrepreneurship, one of the things that we have to do is have a very clear plan. For me, the plan and the prep really will create the end result. I'm not a wing it person at all. Uh, a lot of times people ask me, like, you've done this long speech and you didn't use any notes, and I'm like, they honestly think that that's the first time it's come out of your mouth, but the
Yeah.
amount of research and time and rehearsal and knowing your stuff. And it's the same thing with painting. You have to, painting is really it's technique. It's learning how to make certain things and certain movements over and over again. And entrepreneurs, I think, often, if they had a challenge, it's they're reinventing the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
not clear plans. They don't have a foundation, and they just think, with a little bit of information, I can just take off. You know, those brand
Mm.
new entrepreneurs, they just
Oh
have an
yeah.
idea and then they just launch into the idea without this thinking of, where is this energy going? What is going to be the result of this? What is it I'm not seeing? Is this really for my highest and best to do? Have
Mm-hmm.
I have I checked it out with my intuition? Is it just a shiny object? So there's a lot of inner dialoguing, as I would say,
Mm.
going on with art or with my business. I always ask myself, what is it I'm not seeing? What is it I don't know?
That's a great question. That's a great
And as you
question.
know, Terry, whenever you ask yourself these questions, your brain actually gives you an answer.
Yes, it
And it might
does.
be in the middle of the night, or it might be in the shower, or it might be walking somewhere, but suddenly it goes, oh, here's what you don't know. You need to
Mm-hmm.
check this. And so I'm very much about stimulating my conscious mind, connecting to my subconscious mind, connecting to the superconscious mind, and also trying to envision, if I take this action, if I do this, where is it going? So,
Mm-hmm.
so you will understand this. Like, I've written a bunch of books. I really don't write a book unless there's a back end. Like, there's a reason for the book, that
Right.
it's going to bring speaking engagements, it's going to bring coaching, it's going to bring something to myself. And the only book that I have ever written that wasn't with that agenda was a book. Let's see if I have it here. I do. It's called The Magic of Prayers, which actually I channeled in a weekend
There you
and wrote
go.
all these prayers. And it was something much more powerful than me that wrote these prayers. And I made a Christmas gift for all my clients, and it was much smaller than this. And my publisher got this, and he said, these are the best prayers I've ever seen.
There you
And
go.
if you would just add 40 more prayers to it, I will publish it. Now, I will
Wow.
tell you, it has no back end. I've not got one speaking engagement, not one coaching client. It's my best-selling book. It sells like hotcakes.
There you go. There you go. And there's a word that keeps coming up as you were talking, and that is the word creativity. I find that entrepreneurs who have been in business for X amount of time, say they've been in business for 5 years, their creativity muscle atrophies a little bit. They get into this doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a difference. And they're either two extremes, either the ones who are stuck and happy where they are, not, I shouldn't say stuck, but they're happy where they are and there's very little creativity. And then there's others who are constantly creating due to the shiny object syndrome. So we've got the two extremes. So you need creativity to do art. And I don't like to use the word need because that means lack. We have creativity to do art. I believe most, it comes from within. Entrepreneurs and creativity. Can you talk about that? Because that really is important.
Okay, so I'm very blessed that I'm sort of right-brained and left-brained equal. Some creative people are so right-brained that, they wouldn't be able to look at a spreadsheet, financial spreadsheet or something. By the way, I really don't like looking at those, but I can read them, and I've learned to do that because it's the right thing to do. You're absolutely right. I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs sort of have a creative idea of what their business is going to be like, but then they get caught in minutia of the everyday running of the business. So I've just hired 2 people. So I am training from 9 to 12 almost every day. And I can train thousands of people and it's fun. But to train one-on-one is not fun for me because it's also training stuff that inside my brain is going, God, you should know this. I should have to teach you this. You apply for
I've
the
been
job.
there. I have been there. Yes, I have been there.
So it sucks out the creativity out of you because you're doing all this minutia, oh God, QuickBooks and stuff like that, or inventory, or did we order this? And we're getting ready to do a new online course and there's a lot of new learning curves to it. And after I have the meeting with all the people we're doing with all the technology, I need to go lay down because they have sucked really all the creativity out of me. So I would say most entrepreneurs, to get past that, is they actually have to just really limit per day how much of that in-office grunt work that you have to do, and then make sure that you are inserting, like I use meditation, I use walking on the beach, I use artwork. I have other art things that I do. Like I have glued seashells on everything that's not moving in my house. Okay, swear. And then I get tired of it and I give it. And they're great presents. I mean, people love my presents because they're beautiful artwork things. And then they're like, "Oh, it's a gift for you. Please take it." But I just think that the regular entrepreneurs are depleted because they are not actually scheduling the time to allow the child to come out and play. Yes. And when I do go to the art room, I do say, and by the way, when I built my house, I made it a big priority that my house had a big art room.
Nice.
Because I was living in a closet before, that extra closet that you finally cleaned out, then it became your art room. But then it became so junky you couldn't actually use the art room. So when we built my new house, I actually built a very big studio. Because I said, if I don't make it nice, I won't use it.
There you go.
So it's a big priority. And so I recommend everybody make their creativity priority. And by the way, I have linked creativity to money.
Tell me more.
So I am very much about the more I paint, the better writer I am. The more I do creative, fun stuff, like I love to decorate. Primarily, I just move things around. But I mean, I love that creative expression. Mm-hmm. I mean, even the way that I dress, I like for it to be creative and make you feel inspired, because my speaking, my writing, everything improves with me. In fact, when I want to write a new book, which I'm getting ready to do, I actually try to schedule in a lot of creative time before I start, because it excites your brain.
Yeah, it does. And here's what I know about you is, first of all, you always look gorgeous. So I know that creative side is there with the clothes that you wear, the jewelry that you wear, everything is, it's just, you always look stunning.
Thank you. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Hey, the older we get, it's a lot of work.
That's right. It's not for the faint-hearted.
But it's about colors. It's about design. It's about triggering the amygdala, triggering those parts of our brain that juice things up. I know for myself, one of the things that I love to do is My creativity comes when I'm making my designs online. The meme for this or the meme for that or whatever. The online creativity piece for me is a lot. Yesterday, I just put up a new banner on my Facebook page, and I put up another different banner on LinkedIn, and I was actually dreaming about it. And that's where my creativity comes in terms of being able to focus on those kinds of things. My husband, he loves the gardening. I couldn't care less about the gardening. I just like looking at it. I don't want to get it. I don't want to do the gardening. But I do believe that each and every one of us who are entrepreneurs, who are leaders, who really want to be with other people, it's important for us that we tap into those spaces within ourselves, our heads and our hearts, that get those creative juices going, because that's what is going to help you be a better leader, a better teammate, a better spouse, a better employee, a better employer, a better relative, whatever it is. Because creativity is huge.
I'm very sorry that that's really not taught in school very much.
No, it's not.
When I was in high school, I was in algebra for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, the teacher came over and said to me, Lee, today's the last day you can drop out of algebra.
You and I are very much on the same page with that.
And I said, really? So what would you suggest? And he said, art. And I said, yes, art. That's exactly what I want to do. I also wasn't allowed to be in the shop class with the guys, because that's what I really wanted to do, is build things. And
sure.
they're so old fashioned, they wouldn't let me do that. But they did make me take 6 months of home ec.
For those who don't know what home ec is, it's home economics. How to clean a house, how to cook, which frankly, I like the idea that, I don't know what they call it today. They are offering food courses and cooking courses and that kind of stuff in some of the schools. I don't mind that part of it, because at least you can sustain yourself,
And so the thing with me, though, is no matter what I'm in, I'm sort of reorganizing it, like, you could teach this better this way, or stuff like that. And the other question I asked all teachers was, at 16, how do you monetize this? How do you make money from this knowledge?
I love it.
Oh, my teachers could not wait for me to graduate, because they didn't know how to answer any of those questions.
Well, they're
they
not
actually
entrepreneurs.
No. Yeah. And I would just say, I don't understand why we're learning this. I mean, how does that relate to the big scheme of life? Wouldn't it be better if we learned, instead of some of the stuff you're teaching us, like how to balance a checkbook or, stuff like that. But I'm a very practical person too. But I encourage everybody that whatever you used to like to do, there's inside of you a big creative person who wants to do it. Your life will be so much better if you will just go play. Find a hobby.
Absolutely.
And I have made a number of hobbies professions, such as I was a photographer. I became a professional photographer, and traveled around the world for like 8 years doing landscape photography all over the world. And
how cool is that?
It was very cool. And if I hadn't have found this, I think God wanted me to do something else, because I got arrested in Israel as a spy, because my passport was so full, and I had been to Egypt and Africa for 3 months. And anyway, you can't remember where you had lunch yesterday, and they're asking you all these questions, and finally they just arrested me saying I was a spy.
Wow.
And I went like this, because I was very hippie, long hair. And I said, really? I look like a spy? And they said, you look exactly like a spy, because female spies are very outgoing, very obvious, they didn't use the word ballsy, but something like that. Yeah. And you are our number one view of looking for female spies.
Oh, wow. And how'd you get out of that?
It took 3 days in the American Council. Anyway, I won't be going back.
Adventure.
What? Oh, it was. Yeah, it's funny now.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't funny then. I'm sure it wasn't funny then.
But
So,
it's sure, life is about stories,
yes,
and
and that's a great story. I'm really glad you shared it on the show because
you
that is
have
a
to.
brilliant story.
And so, anyway, I'm just saying to everybody, life is this big adventure. You got to have fun in it. And
Yes,
I
you
have fun.
do.
I really have fun. I laugh at my own jokes. Always.
There you go. So, Lee, we're getting close to the end of the show. I would love for you to share what is your number one piece of advice for today's entrepreneur?
Your point of power in this lifetime is this moment in time. The past is a locked door. The future is your imagination. It is the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial use of your energy that will determine what your life is going to look like. You must guard your energy as your greatest asset. It is your currency in life. I do have a gift for your audience if they'd like it. If you go to 5typesofenergy.com, spell it out, F-I-V-E, typesofenergy.com. There are 5 short 5-minute videos that'll come once a week just talking about mental energy, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial. And they're just little reminders that is your wealth. It's those energies.
And every single one of them are wealth. Every single one of them. Well, Lee Milteer, thank you so much for being here today on Awaken the Possibilities. And to the Awaken the Possibilities guests, as you know, you can go and watch the video and the audio at awakenthepossibilities.com. And you can find out about our events, courses, VIP days, and our challenges at intuitiveleadership.com. Thank you so much for being here and being with me and allowing me and my guests into your home. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Awaken the Possibilities. To your success, and wishing you love and light in everything that you do. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Visit our website at awakenthepossibilities.com to subscribe to listen and rate our podcast on your favorite platform, such as YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Cashbox, and more. For events, business, mindset, and leadership coaching services and courses, visit our website at intuitiveleadership.com. We look forward to sharing more insightful episodes and wish you much success in your business and life.